the absolute best credit cards for any credit score. Now, what that means is no matter what your credit score is, some of these cards should help you. And if these may not fit your scenario, depending on what range you fall in, then I give you some ones that are kind of, I guess, last case scenario if you're trying to build your credit. What up? You got Mr. Smith, point five of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this video I want to talk about the best credit cards no matter what your credit score is. Now, what you got to understand is this. Credit cards are something that you really can't shy away from if you're interested in building your credit score, if you're interested in enhancing your credibility, because that's what credit scores are, your credibility. But sometimes I hear people say, nah, I don't have a credit card, and they celebrate it, but they're contacting me because they want to enhance their credit score. So all I can do is tell them how it is, even if it ain't what they want to hear. I have to say, look, I know you don't like credit cards, but that's 30% of your score. That's 165 points that you're leaving on the table by not having a credit card. And then sometimes I'm like, wow, I closed my credit card or this and that, because they just were uninformed. So it's not a shot or this or not to them, but that's just the game that we're playing in. And if you understand that it's a game, then you just got to understand the rules. And if you understand the rules, then you can win at the game that they have set up. And when they change the rules, we learn the rules and implement the rules so we can best benefit those that we serve. Now, as it relates to the best credit cards, no matter where you're standing at, I also like to let people know that the credit cards and what the unsecured and the secured credit cards can both help you get some credit utilization, but unsecured cards tend to hold more weight. Main reason why they hold more weight is because they tend to have higher credit limits. The higher the credit limit, the better it is for your score, because the entities and the bureaus are looking at it like, okay, this person is a good borrower. They're good at not over leveraging their credit cards. With secured credit cards, most of the time their credit limits are really low. So they're like, $200, not going to really move the needle. $500 not going to really move the needle. It's a good start to get some payment history going and flowing, but you really want to be bumping that number up and having a high credit limit, or graduate into an unsecured card, because it tends to have more limits, and it just lets you know that, hey, this person is validating themselves, they're proving themselves, they're proving their credit worthiness over time, so we're willing to give them a line of credit. So just some things to make note of. Now, I will tell you both places where you can find some unsecured and a secured credit card. If you want a secure credit card, and this is the last case scenario. Sometimes I deal with clients and I recommend that because of what I see on their profile, and we need to get some positivity reporting quick. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead and get a secure card, because it can help you, start strengthening that score. And then if we're able to graduate it to an unsecured card, great. Or if we have to pivot a little bit, then we'll do what we have to do. But an unsecured credit card can be found in the link below, along with the free credit video. But the unsecured card says, hey, this credit card helps you build credit fast, because it can help, especially if a person is starting from nowhere, don't have a credit card, has a low score, a lot of derogatory, that we need to get some positive trade lines reporting to their credit report. But primarily, I want people to get familiar with Bankrate.com. Bankrate.com has a list of credit cards that they vetted over time that they feel are the best ones of this time. And I want you to look for 0% interest rate, intro interest rate, and no annual fee. Now, of course, there are pros and cons. Sometimes it can be a decent card, even if it does have an annual fee, but you got to understand what perks come along with it that justify the annual fee. And if you get in the habit of paying bills on time or paying the credit cards off in full, the interest rate that comes after the intro interest rate really doesn't matter as much. So even if it's a 23% interest rate, that's high. You better believe that's high. But if you can stay disciplined and continue to pay 0% or pay the balance down to zero, then what's 23% of zero? Zero. So you won't be affected, even though the interest rate is showing to be high. So just make that note. But Bankrate.com is a site where you can find credit cards no matter what your credit score is. And if those things don't fit your scenario based on the criteria that's listed, then consider a secured card. The higher the credit limit, the better, because the secured card, how that works is you have to put a down payment, and then they release a card based on whatever you put down. So if you put $1,000 down, you now have a credit limit of $1,000. That looks better than $200, looks better than $500. But it's not as good as an unsecured card. However, it can help as long as you treat it appropriately, keeping that utilization low and make sure you're paying everything on time. And use the card. Don't shy away from using the card, but make sure you're using it, paying it off, using it, paying it off, and it'll build some solid history and help with your utilization. So that's all I got for this video. Short, sweet, to the point. Bankrate.com. Check it out. If not, click that link down below. Grab your free credit class, as well as push the button that says this credit card helps build credit fast, and take advantage of that secured credit card. That's all I got. See you on the next one. Salute.